One evening in 2006, a 12-year-old girl went into this police station. She reported that she had been molested in a local graveyard. The police officers here told her to sober up and come back later. As she left, she was accosted by two further men who took her away in a car and raped her. They gave her money for a bus fare and dropped her in the streets in this town in Greater Manchester. She was picked up by another man. He also raped her. He then abandoned Sam again in another street in this town, and another man picked her up, Shakil Chowdhury. He also raped her. It was an appalling ordeal. Now, she eventually did receive some action from the police some days later. She reported her incident to the St Mary's Rape Crisis Centre. But what we can reveal today is that one of the first actions the police took was to try and force a contraceptive pill into her mouth. I've known Sam for many years, and yesterday I spoke with her about this traumatising ordeal.
After you were abused by a gang, so many members on one day, what happened to you when you sought support from the police?
The police did a referral to St Mary's Rape Crisis Centre, who after a couple of days finally managed to fit me in. From there, they did examinations, took photographs of all the bruising and trauma that I had received. And from that, I received the emergency contraceptive pill. At the time when I was at the appointment, I didn't feel comfortable taking it. So I did request to take it home and just have some time to take it all in. It wasn't that I was not going to take it. It was just I needed to come to the conclusion and acceptance myself.
Then you got home, but there was an incident with a police officer about that pill quite soon after.
Yeah, I put the pill in my room and then I went out. The following day when I came home from being with friends, there was an officer sat in my mum's living room and my parents were in the kitchen, and he was quite vocally aggressive, telling me how important it was to take it. He had already gone through my room and found it and produced it in the living room to me. He popped it out the box and tried and passed it to me to take. I refused and said, I'm not ready, and walked off to go upstairs. He followed me into the hallway and he grabbed my arm and then grabbed my face and pushed it into my mouth to swallow and said, it's for your own good. I then went upstairs and spat it out and chucked it out the window.
You were just 12 years old when this happened. It must have been the most appalling experience. I'm very sorry.
As a 12-year-old, we're still at an age where we're a lot more mature, and being treated like we're a child, it doesn't work. We need that respect equally and an understanding. And if nobody's talking us through what it is, what it means, why we need to take it, then you're not going to have that trust.
How did you feel knowing that you had police officers literally in your house using force against you to try and force you to take medicine and a pill while your abusers were out on the streets?
I didn't feel safe. So it felt like there was nobody I could trust.
Well, Greater Manchester Police have assessed this complaint as you've raised it quite recently, but they've come to no conclusion as to who was behind this incident at your home. How did it feel when you got that response back from your complaint?
It feels like the same old excuse, but due to a passage of time, they can't investigate it any further, and they refuse to look into who that officer was at the time.
And in 2022, you were basically the only survivor voice in the original review conducted into Oldham into the abuse gang scandal. But this wasn't included in that. This incident is a brand new revelation from that appalling period of abuse. How much information do you think has been missed from the investigations into Oldham?
I'd say quite a lot. And given the fact that I was one of the only ones that were part of that review, it concerns me why they didn't involve more, and is there a cover-up?
And last week, we revealed that Jess Phillips, the safeguarding minister, had denied a request led by survivors, including you, for a government-led inquiry into the abuse in Oldham because they didn't trust the council to do a proper job. How did you feel when you found out that Jess Phillips had turned down that request?
Upset because after each review, they always say, we've learnt from our lessons, we've learnt from past mistakes, but I don't see any action every time. And if they want to prove to us that they do care about us survivors and want to give us a voice, then listen to us. This is what we want.
A government-led inquiry.
Yes.
Oh, Jess Phillips has said, and the Labour government have said that they'll support more local reviews. Is that good enough for you?
It's not going to lead to any prosecutions from any official body. It'll lead to recommendations that won't be listened to. And what does that achieve? Unless, except us getting answers, it doesn't achieve anything for us.
Now, obviously, the grooming gang scandal is back in the headlines now. There's been a surge in interest after Elon Musk and other influential figures started speaking about it again in the last week. Are you happy about that surge in interest?
Yeah, because it should be a topic that should be spoken about openly. People shouldn't be afraid or disgusted that this does happen. And to stop it, we need to fight it now.
Also, as part of the reaction from the government to all the attention that's going on, today, Sir Keir Starmer referred to the far right and their poison and how some people could be amplifying the far right in their discussions and call for a national public inquiry. What was your reaction as a survivor to this abuse when you heard that statement from the Prime Minister?
I feel like it's a bit of a cop-out. We're always going to get people that are going to turn it negative in one way or another, whether it's from far-right people or whoever, but this isn't about a certain ethnicity or a certain kind of person. This is about abusers, rapists of any person, any nationality, any colour. They're all out there. And this needs to be sorted now.
And you want that government-led inquiry to finally expose the true extent of the crisis?
Yeah, I do.
Do you have any hope that this Labour government might change its mind and listen to you and other survivors calling for more public investigations?
Personally, I don't. Because Labour was in government when all this was happening.
Now, in the police complaint seen exclusively by GB News, it says that the force does not dispute that a police officer was at her house and did robustly encourage her to take the pill, but it said that it cannot confirm the alleged use of force that we are revealing today. I'd just like to refer back to Sam's comments at the ends there, that she has little hope that a national public inquiry will be launched because Labour was in power during the time of so many of these cover-ups and all this corruption going on in local authorities. Here in Oldham, it was revealed in 2022 that a Labour Party member and a senior welfare officer from the council was one of the grooming gang abusers. Now, Sam has also told us that she does not have confidence in a local inquiry being launched by Oldham Council, as ordered by Jess Phillips, the safeguarding minister, because, like the information we're revealing today, so much was missed. The Conservatives, in their opposition to the government, have said that a national public inquiry is needed because only at that level can you force people to come and give evidence. Local inquiries, they say, have no power to ensure that evidence is heard, victims are protected, and accountability is delivered, and most importantly of all, justice is finally given to so many thousands of survivors around the United Kingdom.
Charlie Peters, thank you so much for bringing us that live from Greater Manchester. Really appreciate it.
Yes, the Assistant Chief Constable for Greater Manchester Police, Steph Parker, has said we wholeheartedly apologise to all victims of child sexual exploitation who we badly let down, including Sam, for the hurt and ongoing trauma caused by what happened. We've accepted our actions fell far short of the help that they had every right to expect from us. Child protection is the priority for the GMP of today. Our approach to protecting victims and pursuing perpetrators is significantly improved to that of 2 decades ago, with His Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabulary recently finding us to be good or adequate in all areas of protecting children across GM. We continue to work with Sam, and the abuse she suffered is one of a number of ongoing victim-focused investigations by a specialist unit investigating non-recent CSE, which has 100 dedicated detectives working at pace survivors at a pace survivors are comfortable with when the time is right for them. This has seen more than 100 arrests, with suspects continuing to be taken to court to face justice. We are wholly focused on working with partners to listen to survivors of non-recent child sexual exploitation, ensure that they are believed. We are determined to bring offenders to justice for their crimes, no matter how long they were committed. Time is no barrier to justice.